Hello little explorers, welcome to my science world. Before exploring further, take a deep breath. Hold. Now slowly breathe out. Okay, now let's begin. Have you ever wondered how you learn to breathe? Yes, some things need not be taught, and that includes the very first instinct of survival, our first breath. Our lungs were never taught how to breathe. We all know that we breathe in air rich in oxygen, that is inhalation, and breathe out air rich in carbon dioxide, that is exhalation. And this process is called as breathing. So have you ever wondered what happens when we breathe? Or how does the air travel inside our body? Well, in this module, we'll be learning the mechanism of breathing in humans. Okay, now let's quickly recall the major respiratory organs in our body. As we all know, the major respiratory organs are the nostrils, trachea, bronchi, the lungs, and the diaphragm. Come on, let's explore the mechanism of breathing through a small experiment. For this experiment, we require balloons, an empty bottle, plastic straws, a pair of scissors, and sellotape. Come, let's perform the experiment.
The opening of the straw outside the bottle acts as the nostril. The straw acts as the trachea and the branches as bronchi. The balloon at the end of the straw acts as lungs. The bottle serves as the chest, and the rubber sheet at the bottom of the bottle is the diaphragm. When the rubber sheet is pulled downwards, the balloon gets inflated. Now, when we push the rubber sheet inside the bottle, the balloons collapse. Let's watch it once again.
So, how does the balloon get inflated or deflated when we push or pull the rubber sheet? When we pull the rubber sheet outwards, the space inside the bottle increases and the air inside the bottle becomes lighter. So, the dense air rushes into the balloon from outside. When we push the rubber sheet inside, the space in the bottle is reduced and the pressure is increased. This pushes air out of the balloon and thus the balloon gets deflated. Okay, now let's correlate this with our breathing system. When the diaphragm goes down, it makes the chest size larger. In the same manner, when we pull the rubber sheet, the space inside the bottle gets larger. The oxygen-rich air from the outside enters the windpipe through the nostril. This happens just the way like we saw in the experiment. Air enters the bronchi like the air entering through the two branches of the tubes in the experiment. Finally, the air goes to the lungs and the lungs get inflated as the balloons in the experiment. Similarly, when the diaphragm goes up, it moves the air up and reduces the chest size. There is more pressure on the lungs and the air gets out of the body through the same path as before. That is, from lungs to the bronchi, windpipe, nasal cavity, nostrils, and finally outside the body. Thus, breathing is controlled by the movement of diaphragm. This process occurs every time we breathe, that is 15 to 18 times per minute. Yes, you heard me right. We breathe 15 to 18 times per minute. Isn't it interesting? Yes, I am fascinated too. Okay little explorers, we finally made it. We explored and found what actually happens when we breathe. Good job! Okay then, see you in the next interesting video with some other question. Until then, bye bye.